I just got back from India and Nepal, and I am unpacking, and I'm like, what better way to unpack and to show you everything that I brought and kind of how my mind was working at the time. So I'm very cozy right now. I have a cup of oolong tea, and I am ready to walk you through what I brought on my trip. And also I wanted to just share, what did I bring that I didn't need or I used a lot, and just kind of go through kind of my system and my process to see if it would help you in any way. That would be wonderful. Okay, so come with me. All right, so here is my bag. This is my main bag with all of my stuff, so it's carry-on friendly. And then I also have kind of some other things laid out, which I'll go over as well throughout my journey. But I usually start with the main bag, or you could call it the suitcase. And I will say having hand sanitizer was very nice to have in certain situations. So just having it dangling was really great. But so here's my bag. And I have, this is my beauty bag, or all the things that have toiletries, items, things like that. So it was really great to have this. And what I really like about it is that there's a little thing where you can hang and you can hook it. So this is separate, right? But just some sort of thing where I can hang, especially while traveling. It's useful to be able to hang rather than sometimes the counters are wet and I don't really want my things to get wet. But it was really great to organize and use when I was over there. And I will say one thing that I feel like if I could go back that I didn't need was things like this. This is small in comparison to a typical bottle, but when traveling I barely used this bottle of conditioner. I barely needed it and used it. And same with my shampoo bottle. I'm glad I brought it, but what I ended up buying a lot of in India actually was little packets like these that were super affordable, but it just took up a lot less space, and you can find them pretty much anywhere when you're out traveling there. And then I had some laundry detergent that I had bought to do laundry and things like that. But this was a really great way to stay organized, and it also it kept me accountable as to only fit things within this realm. Okay. So then moving on to kind of clothes. Clothes is the biggest thing. And so so these are kind of my organizer things, and there's different categories. And so at this point I'm going to switch. Okay, so the way that I divvy these up are I have one for bottoms, and I have one for tops, and then I had one for socks, underwear, bras, things like that. And then one was just sort of miscellaneous and a lot of medicine that I brought. So I'll start with my bottoms. So I was very intentional with my bottoms. And I think the biggest tip that that I would give you and what I would focus on is the purpose of the clothing itself. Each piece of clothing I brought had a specific purpose. So for instance, I brought this pair of leggings was specifically, I liked it because it was black. I wouldn't have to worry about it getting dirty. And that it was specifically for when I wanted to practice yoga or have something kind of more form-fitting. So I had one leggings like that. I brought a pair of these yellow pants that were kind of nicer, more, flamboyant and rambunctious. And so this served as more kind of a special occasion pants that maybe I didn't feel comfortable wearing just my leggings or just kind of any old pair of pants. I wanted to kind of dress up. This is my version of dressing up. And then I brought okay, and then I also brought a pair of leggings that were warm. So these were made of wool just really in terms of being able to balance out different temperatures. And so that pair was more, yeah, for cold kind of climates. And then I brought, these are like shorts they're super form-fitting, but I brought total of 3 pairs of shorts. One was like this, it was for exercising. Another was for kind of like pajamas sort of shorts, but I could still wear out. And then another was also kind of similar along that lines. So I didn't actually bring any shorts that were like had pockets or kind of out and about shorts. I barely wore shorts outside in public, honestly, like ever, which was very normal. But these shorts, having 3 pairs of shorts, I wore every single one of them, and they served their purpose for me. And just having shorts to lounge around within like my hostel, or just just to be comfortable, because sometimes you don't want to wear pants. And it was very warm in the beginning of my trip. And so, but having not only just shorts, but for different contexts, and like for working out, for lounging around a house that might have been a little bit looser, more comfortable. So taking that into account. And then, oh wow. And then this, I love this. This is a towel. And I got this from REI, and it's super small. Like, this is my hand. Look how big it is and small. And it's like sort of made of microfiber material, and it dries super quickly. I love the color. Like, it just, in terms of hygiene, it also smelled really good throughout. And so I just loved using this towel, and it even has a little hook thing to hang. So it was just really convenient to use and to have. So saved space and also dried quickly. And then this was also there. This is super great. This is basically, I brought this sheet. It's like the size of a full-size bed, maybe even, yeah, about that. But this was really great while staying in a hostel, especially if you're on the bottom bunk. I use this sort of as like a curtain, and I would tuck it in under the top bunk bed as to shield away from light and just add a little bit of privacy. And so this was really versatile. I didn't use it every time I was a hostel because some of them had curtains, but if it didn't have one, I could. If I was on the top bunk, that was a different story. But it also served a few times. I used this as my sheet because the blanket that they had was too thick, or I maybe didn't like the smell of it. It just added like a more comfortable layer that I liked. But specifically, I think the biggest bang for the buck was having it as like a little curtain and add privacy. I loved having this. I think it's important to find something that's thin enough, like it's sheer, but it's not too thick. I played around. Some of my blankets were thicker, but I think what was really great about this is the size, having a wider surface area, but the size itself it's a small size, like almost comparable to like my towel. I brought a pair of gloves, which is so funny. I forgot I had these because these were in my bottom little compartment. Had I put these somewhere else, been able to access them, I would have remembered where they were. But yeah, so that's also testament to placing things where you would expect to find them, and I didn't expect to find them in my pants section. So yeah, here's my tops. Okay, I brought I was very specific, and I brought every single top that I wore. I didn't think, oh, I needed more, so I brought one colorful like knit shirt that this was more, yeah, I liked the color, the print, and that it was kind of in between being warm and so it's like a 3/4 shirt. I brought 2 sort of dry fit shirts that are like microfiber and like very basic color. They're very versatile in terms of like how it would match things. They could go with anything, and I liked the material. And then I And then this shirt was actually something I bought, which was like a t-shirt as a souvenir. And then this shirt I also bought. But then other things, I brought one turtleneck that I'm wearing, and having a turtleneck was great. I didn't use this a whole lot, but this was also sort of like a special occasion shirt, also a backup shirt as well, especially when it was cold. And then I also brought, analogous to the wool leggings I brought a wool long sleeves black shirt as well. And I loved it having it black. It just matched with everything. And just the fact that it was wool, in case I was gonna be cold, I had this as a backup. And I definitely used it for sure. And I brought, so for me, like these shirts, the function it served was for working out, but really these were like my everyday shirts. And so recognizing that in terms of it's comfortable, style-wise, I really liked it. In terms of being clean as well, like they're just so easy to wash and easy to dry, especially when I would hand wash things. So that was something I considered, because, you know, like I learned this through my travels. Like I don't need 7 different shirts that serve the same purpose. And so I rotated mostly, you know, between these 3 shirts on a typical basis. Like I sometimes would wear the same shirt for multiple days, you know, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in a new city, like new shirt, you know, sort of thing. But definitely depends on how you want to do it. And so I want to go over, so that's kind of the bulk of clothes. And like this, so these 2 articles of clothing I put in a separate pile because they never really, when I traveled or I moved, they never stayed in my bag because I always had them on when I was moving from hostel to hostel. So this was like a jacket. So I'd wear the shirts and then I'd always have this jacket because it would take extra space in my suitcase. So I would just wear it or tie it around my waist when I would move around. And then these pants was everywhere I went. They're called my adventure pants, but they're so great because they have pockets that zip, are so useful. It's you just want pockets when you travel, you know, and not only front pockets, but also back pockets too. So it's like 4 opportunities to put things in, and it's just really convenient. And this specific material I really liked because, well, one, it's black, so don't worry about it getting dirty and stuff, or it, you know, sitting on something and making it unsightly. But it just, the material is, it's not like a legging, so it's thicker, so it's able to keep you warm, but it also dries pretty quickly too in terms of washing. But it's just, there's a durability of it that I really liked. But it also was lightweight. And so I definitely recommend a pair of pants like that you can have when you're traveling, that is really comfortable, zippers for sure, and just a material that will also protect you. Like if you're, I don't know, if you catch something on your leg, like it's thick enough to protect you in that way. So these 2 articles of clothing were just more, they would always be on my body sort of thing. Okay. So that's clothes. Oh, and then the as far as let's see, underwear and socks and things like that. For my trip, I brought, I would say, anywhere from 7 to 10 pairs of socks, and I was specific in the kinds of socks I brought. And so I did bring like little short socks, like smaller, you know, lighter knit socks, and I would bring also longer ones too. Some of them were thicker, some of them were wool. And so having a variety depending on the climate that you're traveling is important. But I would say, I think at most for each one, maybe like 3 to 4 for each specific category of sock. And I think that really was nice when it was hot. I could wear the lighter weight socks. And then when it started to get colder, you know, when you're in your hostel, being able to wear the thicker knit socks was really great. And then as far as underwear, I think I also brought anywhere from 7 to 10, probably upwards of 10, just so that, I mean, it takes up space, right? I wanted everything to fit in this thing. And so the more pairs of underwear you have, it's just like, you can just wash them essentially. And so there was sort of this like routine that I had is like, okay, I've worn, I'm getting close, I only have a few pairs of, like, oh, it's time to do laundry, that sort of thing. And just kind of planning around that. It's pretty simple to do, or if you make it, you can make time to do that. And bras. Okay, I brought 3 pairs of bras on the trip, and it was very nice to have as like a backup in case, you know, you went on a hike or something, or your bra got soaked, and then having another sports bra or other kind of bra to wear in that situation. And so I would wear the bra that would take up the most space in my suitcase. That's what I would wear when I would be traveling. But everything else that's, like, you know, easy to wrinkle, formed, like, that were more able to endure that, like, I wouldn't really care, and I could just stuff it in my bag. That's what I would put in here. So that's that.